Welcome. In this video, we're talking about how to set up our lab environment. We're using two machines where you're going to be using Kali and we're going to be using Windows 10 as a victim. You're going to be downloading Kali from Offensive Security. It's going to be a pre-configured VM already set up. We're going to be using the 2021.1 version. And with Windows 10, we're going to be downloading it from Microsoft. So let's go ahead and jump in. Let's get our lab environment set up. I have just a Windows 10 machine installed, Chrome, nothing else. I went ahead and I downloaded VMware Workstation 16. I'm going to get that installed, and then we're going to walk through the process how to install the other three operating systems. Workstation is pretty simple, straightforward. I'm using all the defaults. Agreeing to the terms and services, of course. Not joining the customer experience. I'm going to do the installation, do a restart, and then I will move on to the next OS. Installation is complete. I'm going to go ahead and finish, and it's going to go ahead and restart. Alright, now that my VMware Workstation is installed, I'm going to open it, make sure it runs. I'm going to go and do a trial. And it does open up. Perfect. First VM I'm going to be downloading is Kali. And I'm going to get that from Offensive Security. Kali. I'm going to go ahead and download the 64-bit 2021.1. I'm pausing the video for downloads and basic installs to lessen time, but this is going to take about 5 minutes to download. Alright, so I have WinZip installed. So I can now close all the pop-ups from WinZip. I can now go ahead and extract my Kali VM. Use evaluation mode. I'm going to unzip it to my download folder. Alright, so once it is done unzipping, you're going to see a nested folder. So what I'm going to do is make this a little bit more organized. So on my drive, I'm going to make a new folder called VMs. And that's where I'm going to put it. I'm going to go ahead and rename it to Kali 2021.1. So first operating system is done. The next operating system is going to be Windows 10. I'm assuming you don't have a Windows 10 ISO, so I'm going to be downloading it directly from Microsoft. Again, I just Googled Windows 10 download. I'm going to be downloading the media creation tool. And this is going to give me the ability to download the Windows 10 ISO. Alright, it took a minute for it to pop up with the appropriate terms and services. Alright, so after terms and services, it takes a minute, but it does get you to this screen. I want to choose Create Installation Media. Do not choose Upgrade. Again, you can select what versions. For what we're doing, 64 bits fine. I want to download the ISO. I'm going to save it to download. Windows 10. And it takes between 5 and 20 minutes. I'm going to pause it while it downloads. Alright, so once that's done, we can finish the multimedia tool, and you will see that we have now Windows 10 full ISO. Let's go and open up our VMware workstation. First thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and open up our Kali machine. Add it to workstation at least. Alright, next thing I want to do is I want to create a new workstation. I'm going to use an ISO. Downloads, that's going to be our Windows 10. Again, I want to save it to C drive. Windows 10. The default drive should be fine. Make sure it has 2 gigs of RAM. Alright. Finish, and it's going to run through the installation. I didn't create a user. I left everything default. I am going to have to do an actual installation, so things like prompting it to boot off the ISO. Alright, after a minute, the installer pops in, install Windows, and again, basic settings, nothing abnormal. Don't have a license. I'm going to go with Windows 10 Pro. And accept terms and services. I'm going to do a custom so I can install it directly on my drive. And it's going to copy and install. Alright, so it's finished its installation, it's restarting, and I'll go ahead and I'll set up an account. Starting may take a few minutes. It has to go through its normal getting device ready, getting the profile ready, and all of the normal startup BS. Alright, so it restarted a few times, and then it finally let me do some user input. So I'm going to go and choose the appropriate country, choose the appropriate keyboard. I don't want a second keyboard. It should be asking me for user details here in a second. Alright, so I'm going to be using this for personal use. I want an offline account. Limited experience. I don't want a password for now. And that's it. It's going to do its basic account creation, and it should restart and create my profile. Cortana. Again, while it's setting up the profile, it can take a few minutes. Just be patient. Alright, so for now, I have my Windows 10 machine. I'm going to go ahead and power it off. The next is setting up Metasploitable 3. So now that we have our lab environment set up, we can go ahead and begin.